Mummies. They're not just spooky Halloween decorations or the stars of classic horror movies. In history, mummies were the real deal, preserved bodies of humans or animals treated with all kinds of funky methods to stop them from decaying for thousands of years. For many reasons, I guess. Ancient civilizations took mummification seriously, blending science, religion, and just a touch of magic to keep their dead looking like a less dead. Mummification wasn't just about wrapping someone up like a burrito for eternity, it was a deep reflection of how ancient people viewed life, death, and the afterlife. The practice dates back thousands of years and is famously associated with ancient Egypt, where it was a big part of their religion. Egyptians believed the soul needed a preserved body to hang out in the afterlife, kind of like needing a VIP pass for eternity, so they got busy developing advanced embalming techniques, making them the OG preservation experts. But Egypt didn't have a monopoly on mummies. Oh no, South America had its own preserved wonders, with cultures like the Chinchorro mummifying their dead long before the Egyptians. Europe and China also joined the mummy party, with Chinese nobles buried in tombs filled with moisture-absorbing materials that created eerily well-preserved remains. Across the world, mummies shared one common goal: honor the dead and keep their physical forms intact, because who doesn't want to look their best for eternity? Fast forward to the 12th century, when things took a weird turn. While Egyptians were busy perfecting the art of preserving bodies for the gods, people in Europe and the Middle East thought,
"Hey, what if we eat them instead? Yeah, that's a great idea."
Yes, you heard that right. Somewhere along the way, someone decided that ground-up mummy parts might be the cure for all kinds of ailments. It all started during the Crusades, when European soldiers traveling to the Middle East came across a substance called mumia. This was a black, sticky material that people believed had healing powers. At first, it referred to natural tar-like stuff, but as stories traveled back to Europe, the meaning got twisted. People began associating mumia with the oils and resins used in Egyptian mummification, and just like that, the mummy craze was born. Doctors and apothecaries started grinding up mummies and selling them as a miracle cure. Got a headache? Try some mummy powder. Stomach pain? Mummy powder. Broken bones?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You guessed it, mummy powder. It was the medieval equivalent of a one-size-fits-all health supplement. But why did people believe this? Well, back then, medical knowledge was, let's just say, not great. Treatments were often based on superstition rather than science. Since the resin used on mummies looked like dried blood, people assumed it could restore life or health, and let's be honest, mummies were ancient, mysterious, and kinda cool. That was enough to convince people they had magical powers. But by the 14th to 17th centuries, during the Renaissance, mummy medicine hit its peak. Everyone, from kings to commoners, was obsessed with it. Apothecaries, think of them as early pharmacists, sold mummy powder in little jars, promising it could cure anything. Even the wealthy elite stocked up, treating mummies like the latest health trend. But there was a problem. Demand for mummies skyrocketed and the supply couldn't keep up, which cue the grave robbers. Tombs in Egypt were raided, and mummies were smuggled into Europe to be turned into powder. But not all mummies were authentic. Some apothecaries sold fake mummy powder made from crushed human bones, animal parts, or even freshly buried bodies treated with resin. Gross, right? But most buyers didn't care. They were too busy chasing the supposed miracle cure. Eventually, people started to realize that mummy powder wasn't the magical cure all they thought it was. By the 18th century, advances in medical science revealed that consuming powdered mummies did absolutely nothing. In fact, it was just plain unethical. Scientists and historians also began to argue that ancient mummies were priceless artifacts of human history, not snacks or medicine. The destruction of these ancient remains sparked outrage, and the mummy craze began to fade. By the 19th century, the practice was pretty much gone, leaving behind a bizarre chapter in medical history. The idea of using mummies as medicine might seem ridiculous today, but it shows just how far people will go to find cures, even if it means raiding ancient tombs or eating 300-year-old bodies. While it's easy to laugh at now, it's a reminder of how little people understood about health and science back then. So next time when you hear about a strange health trend, remember this: at least you're not grinding up mummies.